Good morning, class. This is Rupali Memani, Assistant Professor, Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science, CAM. In this today's session 2 on remedial courses, we will be doing session 2 on RDBMS. So to begin with today's session, we will be learning the concepts of RDBMS, the characteristics of RDBMS. We will learn the difference between DBMS and RDBMS and RDBMS concepts. We will learn the relation model concept, what is the terminology used in RDBMS, and also some basic commands in MySQL. So to start with the lecture, what exactly you mean by relational database RDBMS? RDBMS is Relational Database Management System. It is the basis for SQL and for any modern database systems like MS SQL, IBM DB2, Oracle, MySQL and Microsoft Access. So any backend wherein you are going to store your data, you will be doing it in RDBMS. Now RDBMS is a database management system that is based on the relational model which was introduced by E.F. Codd. Now in the last lecture, in our previous lecture on DBMS, we have seen the 12 rules of Codd. So the same model we will be using in relational model. Now what are the characteristics of RDBMS? Now a relational database refers to a database that stores data in a structured form. The data will be stored in rows and columns, which makes it easy to locate and access specific values within the database. It is relational because the values within each table are related to each other and the table may also be related to other tables. So here anything and everything I store in a data will be in a tabular form. I make rows and columns of that table. For example, let's say I have a student table. In student table, I will have roll number, name, his address, his course. All this will be in one row, that are the attributes of the student entity, and in so individual columns I have as roll number, name and all, and in consecutive rows I will have the details of n number of students. So roll number 1, so and so name and so course. So this becomes a tabular form, and when I try to relate this student table to a teacher table, it will be called as a relational. Again, the teacher table will have a tabular form in rows and columns, and there will be a relation between the student and the teacher. Now, the relational structure makes it possible to run queries across multiple tables at once. It refers to the database program itself. Now, it is a software that executes queries on data, including adding, updating, and searching for value. Now, RDBMS may also provide a visual representation of the data. For example, it may display data in tables like spreadsheets, which allows you to view and even edit individual values in the table. So, similar like how you have your Excel sheet, it will be in tabular form. You can easily see the values stored in each and every column and row, which is stored as a spreadsheet. Now, some RDBMS programs allow you to create forms that are streamlined, wherein entering, editing and deleting the data. Now, the most well-known DBMS application which fall into RDBMS category include your Oracle database, then your MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, IBM DB2, and these programs supports non-relational database, but they are primarily used for relational database management system. So for SYBCA, we will be doing with MySQL, and for SYBCA student, it will be PostgreSQL. So your database will be the backend, and the user interface will be your VB or your PHP or your Java interface. So we will be doing both the databases which are a relational database. So proceeding further, now we have already seen DBMS and we will be seeing the concepts of RDBMS. So what exactly will be the difference between the DBMS and the RDBMS? Now first point, the DBMS application is stored data as a file. So data will be stored in a single file. Whereas in relational database applications, the data is stored in a tabular form. This is the first difference. Then second is, in DBMS, data is generally stored either in hierarchical form or a navigational form. So I have a hierarchy of the data. Whereas in RDBMS, the table has an identifier called as a primary key, and the data are stored in the form of tables. So for example, for student table, your primary key becomes your roll number. Then third is, There is no normalization in DBMS, but in RDBMS you use the concept of normalization. Fourth is DBMS does not apply any security with regards to data manipulation. So anyone can come and hamper with your data, but whereas in RDBMS it has the purpose or the properties of asset, that is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. So you can define the integrity constraint. And DBMS use file system to store data, so there is no relation between the tables. In RDBMS, data are stored in the form of tables, so a relationship between these two values will be stored. Then DBMS provides some uniform method to access the stored information, whereas RDBMS supports a tabular structure of the data and the relation between them to access. Then seventh point, DBMS does not support distributed. So if I want to store my data across multiple servers as a distributed, DBMS does not allow me to store that because it is not in a tabular form, whereas RDBMS will surely support me with the distributed database. Then DBMS is meant for small organization and deal with small data. It's suppose singular user. So if I want a user to access only a single data, I can use DBMS. But if I have large amount of data and there are multiple users, I need to go into RDBMS. Now next important point is data redundancy. There is much of data redundant in DBMS, which leads in difficulty for maintaining the data, whereas in RDBMS, because of keys and indexes, it avoids redundancy. And the last point of difference is examples of data DBMS I can give are DBase, Microsoft Access and FoxPro. These were the old software programming or backends, and now for RDBMS you have SQL Server, MySQL and SQLite. Now proceeding further, let's see the RDBMS concepts. Now we have seen the data in RDBMS is stored in database objects which are called as tables. Now every table is again broken into smaller entities called as your fields. The field is a column in a table that is designed to maintain specific information about each and every record in the table. Then what is a record? It is called as a row of data in each individual entry that exists in the table. And what is a column? A vertical entity in the table that contains all information which is associated with that specific field in a table. Now if you look at the image of the table, here you see your ID, name, age, address and salaries are the columns in the table student, and row number 1 is student ID 1, name Ramesh, age 32, address Ahmedabad and 2000 salary. So this is one record which is I can access with the row, and columns are the attributes which are given to the entity, and the entire thing comes under your table. Now, what is a relational model concept? Now, a relational model can represent as table with columns and rows. Each row has a tuple. Each table of the column has a name or attribute. Now, what are domain? It contains a set of atomic values that an attribute can take. And what is you mean by attribute? Now, it contains the name of the column in a particular table. Each attribute must have a domain, that is DOM of AI. So every attribute, now we have seen the entity and attribute. So attributes are the properties given to that entity. So in the previous table we have seen ID is an attribute, name is an attribute, salary is an attribute. So individual names given to a particular table. Then what is a relational instance? In relational database, the relational instance is represented by finite set of tuples. Now relation instances do not have duplicate tuples. Now relational schema. It is a schema which contains the name of a relation and name of all the columns or the attributes. And relational key, each row has one or more attributes and it can identify the row with that relation uniquely. So this is the relational model basic concepts. Now proceeding further, we will see what terminologies will be used in RDBMS. So first is the database, which is nothing but a collection of tables with the relevant and related data. Then you have a table which is a matrix with the data. It looks like a simple spreadsheet. Then we have seen the column which contains data of one and same kind of, for example, the column postcode or the salary. Then row, it is also called as a tuple or an entry or a record and is a group of related data, for example, the data of one subscription. Then we have concept called as redundancy. That is, I store the data twice and redundantly to make the system faster. Now, primary key. Primary key is a unique key which cannot occur twice in one table. With the key, you can only find one row. So, I have a unique identifier. For example, in student table, I have the roll number which primarily or uniquely describes the student. So, it becomes my primary key. Then I have a foreign key. A foreign key is the link pin between two tables. So, if I am giving relation between student and teacher, then I have a primary key student which will be a foreign key in my teacher table. Then compound key. A compound key is a key that contains multiple columns because one column is not sufficiently unique. So when sometimes I want to give a combination of two keys, that becomes your compound key. So roll number along with the name or roll number along with the course. Then index. An index is a database which resembles an index at the book of the page. Then referential integrity. It makes sure that the foreign key value always points to an existing row. So if I am giving reference of the roll number with the teacher's table, then I have to check whether it is pointing to that particular existing row. So if I am giving references, I should follow the referential integrity. Proceeding further, then with some commands I can access the data which is stored in my RDBMS. Those commands are called as your MySQL. So it is an open source SQL database which was developed by a Swedish company, MySQL Lab. Now it supports many different platforms including Windows, Linux, Unix and macOS. Now MySQL is very fast, multi-threaded, multi-user and a robust SQL database server. So these are some features of MySQL. It has got high performance, high availability, scalability, flexibility. It can run anytime, anywhere. Then it has got robust transactional support. That means it has a strong backup even after before the database remain consistent before the transaction and after the transaction. Then web and data warehouse strengths. Then it gives you a strong data protection and the management is easy. So these are some basic features of MySQL. Now we will see some administrative MySQL commands. Now MySQL commands will be divided into three parts: your data definition language, your DML data manipulation language and DCL data control language. So these are some administrative MySQL commands. First is, if I want to select a database in MySQL work area, I say use and specify the database name. So it will select the database. Then if I want to list the database which are there in my MySQL, I have show databases which list out the database. If I want to see a specific table, show tables is the command to select the tables. Then some columns from a table, I say show columns and I specify from which table name. If I want to see an index, so I say show index from which table and I specify the table name. If I want to see the status, so show table status like and you specify the table name /g. So it gives you the report details of the MySQL DBMS performance and what are its statistics. So these commands are given by an administrative commands. Now other commands are, if I want to create a table, so create table, I need to specify the table name, then I need to specify the columns which I want in that table. So my syntax will be create table, table name and the column name along with its column type. For example, here I have created a table tutorials TBL. So here I write create table tutorials TBL and whatever columns I want to create. So tutorial ID will be of data type integer, not null. That means it is going to be a primary key and it is going to auto increment. So 1, 2 and so on. Then second column will be tutorial title. It will be of varchar. I give it a field display that is 100. Again it will be not null. So I cannot put an empty value there. Then tutorial author, again a varchar. Again I have a submission date which will be of the date data type and the primary key tutorial ID. So proceeding further, now I have created the table. I want to insert some queries in that or insert some data. So I have the SQL insert command. So how do you use that? I write insert into command to insert the data. So I need to write insert into, where you have to insert the table name and what values you have to insert. So you have to separate it with the comma separator with the field name. So look at the example, insert into table name, field 1, comma field 2, comma field till n, and then these are the field names of the column, and after that you write values and what values you want to insert in that respective fields. So proceeding further, now you already created the table, you have inserted the values. Now you want to fire the select query. So if you want to select some commands or fetch some data from my MySQL database, you use the command prompt. So here I write the syntax select. I can specify select star from database. It will select entire table. But if I want only the name and the salary to be selected, then I write select name comma salary from what table? So from and the table name. So it will select only those two columns. Now if I want to use a where clause, so I write select name salary from student where name equal to Akash and so on. So this can be used that way. Now proceeding further, if you want to update a query, that is modified the already existing data, I have the update command. So here what I do, I write update, I write the table name and update which entity. So I need the set keyword and I say field name, that is your column name, and the new value. Again comma separator, field name and the new value. If I want a where clause, I can put that. So where clause, and you can update one or more fields together. So proceeding further, now if I don't want a particular record, I can delete a record from the SQL table by delete from. So your syntax will be delete command to delete from MySQL and the table name. So it will be delete from table name where clause, where roll number so and so, and that particular record will be deleted. Now I have a like clause. Now what is a like clause? It is used along with the % character or the meta character star as in Unix while listing all the files in the directory. Without a % character, the like clause will be same as equal to. So here what I do, if I want that I know as the person is starting from A but I don't know his full name, or I want all the person whose name starts with A. So here I can write the special character. So let's say select column number 1 comma column number 2 from table number where like condition A %. So all the names starting with A will be listed to me. So this way I find the like clause. Then I have the sorting result. So if I want to sort my entire data, I use the order by clause. So order can give me in ascending order or the descending order. So here I can see a syntax select the field names whatever you want, or you can say select star, then from which table. So I need to write order by, again order on which particular column. So I write order by the field and whether you want the order as ascending or descending. So you have to write ASC or DSC to get the result in ascending or direct. You can even use the where or the like clause if you want to use. So using order by clause at the command prompt. Now if I want to alter the table, that is manipulate or change the table, I have the alter command. The drop clause along with the alter command is shown here. So here I want to alter the table, that means change the structure of the table. And if you want to delete a table, I have the drop clause. So I can use an alter clause to add a column. So alter table, table name, add a new column. So add I, which is of integer data type. So here we complete with the basic concepts of RDBMS. I hope you have understood the concept. Now in today's session we saw what is the concepts of RDBMS, what are the characteristics of RDBMS. We saw the difference between DBMS and RDBMS. We also saw the relational model concept. Then we saw some terminologies in RDBMS and some basic MySQL commands. So in practicals we will be doing all this MySQL command. So for this particular lecture I have taken references from these sites. So that's all for today. So see you in the next lecture. Till then, thank you.